Hello everyone. Today's adventure brings us to Cleveland, South Carolina. We're in an area that's just outside of the Caesars Head State Park. We're going to be hiking the Ashbury Trail, which will eventually lead you to an area where some illegal activity used to take place at Moonshine Falls. And the hike is going to be around 6 to 7 miles, I believe, based on just what I've read online, different resources. There's supposed to be four waterfalls that have signs pointing you towards them, I believe. But I think they're, based on what I've looked at on the map, there's going to be 5 that we're going to attempt to see if we can. Today looks like it's going to be a pretty good day. It's abnormally warm. It's currently about 52 degrees at about 10:15 in the morning, and the high today in this area is expected to be around 65. So we're gonna get started and see you along the way. So we've got a sign here that tells you some different things that they offer here. We're gonna be following the Ashbury Trail, I think, the majority of the way. Apparently there's a challenge course here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Appears to start out wide enough to you could drive a vehicle through here actually. This hike does have around 850 feet of elevation gain and is rated as moderate. I've seen some comments and reviews in different places online saying that they felt that it was kind of on the high end of moderate. If you're, in my mind, if you're only climbing 850 feet spread out over, 3 to 3.5 miles in one direction, that's not too bad. So everyone's different. I'm using all trails to track my route, and the first waterfall we're going to try to see here is this Bear Falls. Just going to be off to the right up here in just a little piece. So I also wanted to mention, if you decide to come out here, you do have to get permission. I chose to come on the weekend because of my work schedule, and it's really just a matter of making a phone call, and they give you a security code to the gate that you have to pass through, which the guy on the phone told me that he couldn't exactly say how often they change it, but they do change the code periodically. So the code that I was given to enter today would probably not be good for the next person that tries to come. So here's another sign. Ashbury straight ahead. Looks like there's a little lake or a pond here. They've got some canoes out here. So looks like we enter the woods from here, and it turns to a more normal trail. Alright, so I'm coming up on what I think is the side path that'll take you to Bear Falls. It kind of makes a sharp right and kind of backwards in a sense. No sign or anything for it. However, the blazes on the trail did kind of change. A little bench here, I think it's homemade. Yeah, we had a blue, a red, and then somehow or another a yellow blaze has been added to some of the trees. We're gonna keep going and see if this takes us there. So I've gotten down here pretty close to where it is. I can kind of see a slither of it in the distance. But all this leading up to it right here is just completely grown over. So I'm not going to get any closer than that, because I want to kind of stay on course and not get too winded. This is a very steep hill I'm going to have to climb back up to get to the main trail too. But it's definitely there. I see the top of it. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but kind of dead center in the screen, you can kind of see the top of it. It's a very small one too. But not going to go any further. Not going to spend any time on it. It's just don't seem to be worth the effort to me, in my opinion. But if you decide you want to come take a look at it, you'll take that trail that I showed you earlier where the benches and things were, and you'll eventually come to some trees that have orange ribbon on them. There'll be 3 or 4 of them in a row that'll kind of steer you in the right path. And then they end, but you just keep going and it'll bring you down here to where I'm at. So, moving on. Alright, back on the trail now. I'll probably recommend that you just probably overlook that one, unless you're just very determined like I was. It's really not worth the effort. And it's a pretty steep climb coming back out of there. It gets you winded pretty early on this trail. I think next stop is either Ashbury or Cascade Falls. And at some point we get to do a pretty exciting creek crossing, which I have not made a decision yet how I'm going to attempt it. But if you've read up on this trail at all, or you know anything about it, you will see that you have to cross Matthews Creek, I believe is the name of it, with a cable bridge. And what that consists of is one cable you walk across on your feet, and then another one that's up above it that you hold on and just kind of work your way across that way, straddling the cable. Which not saying I'm opposed to it, but it's something I haven't done before on a hike. Never encountered that before. So that also lies ahead. Continuing on. So they do have markers. I guess every so often on the trail. This one's kind of got a hole in it, but I think it's telling me that I've been half a mile so far. Maybe we'll see one of those again at the 1 mile mark. And then I think the bridge that I was talking about a minute ago is at the 1.5 mile mark. So that's kind of what we're working our way towards. I've not seen anyone out here so far. There were several cars where I parked at, but haven't heard a sound or seen anyone out here yet. Very, very quiet. So travel conditions so far have been pretty good. There at the beginning where you first enter the woods, it was a little rocky and kind of washed out there for just a couple tenths of a mile, but once you work your way past that, it kind of plateaued off for a while, and now I'm actually descending just a tad. It's been very pleasant so far, and the blazes have just switched to where they're only blue. I mean red. Sorry, only red at this point. So at least for now, if you follow the red, you're on the right track. Coming across a little bridge now. Goes just across the creek here. So I have to correct my statement from earlier. These may be just randomly placed, as that marker there said. 1.25 miles we've been so far, and that was only the second one I've seen since the one I showed you earlier. I think we'll be coming up on another waterfall soon. and the iconic bridge that's out here. So this is Cascade Falls. It is a smaller waterfall, but I think what all the fuss is about is this area right here that's around it. It's like a giant pool right here. Very nice. Back on the main trail again. That one was a smaller waterfall, but very nice area. The trail coming back out was just a little steep, but pretty short, nothing we can't handle. And we're on to the next sign now, which is labeled Ashbury Falls. This is the one I think, if I remember correctly, that if it does not have, it hasn't rained in a little while, the flow on it's not going to be very good, but nonetheless, we're gonna go check it out anyway. Boy, this hill right here is steep. Taking a little breather. So this one's just barely a drip today. Been a little while since it's rained in this area. This bluff slash cave right here is pretty cool. Very interesting. We're standing behind the falls now. I don't know if you can even see it. It's such a slow drip. You probably can see it at the bottom right here. Yeah. Not too many times when you can walk behind one. On to the next. Coming back down here and coming up, really get a pretty nice view of the ridge line there across the top of these mountains. See some houses in the distance there, straight in the middle of the screen. Must be some view from up there. Coming up on a sign for the Boy Scout camp this year. Not going to be going down there today, but I can see there's some different shelters, and looks like a pretty good sized fire pit from the distance. A little sitting area. Here, water. Someone has knocked the sign down for the cable bridge, but appears to be right here. Somewhere. Oh, it's actually on up a little piece. Good rushing water through here though. is going to be very interesting. So I made it across the creek. It's pretty interesting. You kind of have to find your groove, the way you want your hands positioned to figure it out and have a good stride across there. But I kind of figured it out about halfway across, so I was pretty comfortable with it after that. But if that's something that concerns you, it's really not that bad. So right after crossing the creek and you start to get back on the trail, I've noticed that it's marked with these orange flags here, or the orange ribbon tape. I see one more up ahead. Can't see beyond that one, but the trail is very easy to make out. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, now we're coming to another junction here. So you can go to Raven Cliff Falls if you go this way. It's pretty interesting there. Maybe something we'll think about on the way back, depending on what time it is. But we're gonna keep going towards the next set of falls, which will be Moonshine Falls first, and then we're gonna check out the remnants of the moonshine still, if it's still there, and then it'll be Confusion Falls after that. A little creek crossing here. Very manageable creek crossing. Did pass a couple back there that were hiking. They said that it was mostly flat the rest of the way, but until you get to Confusion Falls, which will be the last falls that we see, I think the descent down to that may get a little steep, like they mentioned. I'm sure it's nothing we can't handle there. Got another creek crossing here. Very easy to rock hop. Not much of a flow on that part of it. And yet another creek crossing. A little more water noise on this one. Coming up on a little rock pile here. Not sure if there's any significance to that or not, but, or maybe it's just something someone did one day. Or people just add to the pile as they go along. I'm going to leave it be and keep going. So the trail from just a minute ago has kind of started to ascend gradually, slowly. Not exactly steep, but it has started to become a climb. I want to say we're probably less than half a mile, or around half a mile at least, to Moonshine Falls. So it should be much longer. Actually, I have some kind of sign up here I just noticed. Take a look at that real quick. This is a location where many persons made a first critical mistake when getting lost. Okay. Stay on Blaze Trail. So when I did my research on coming and doing this hike and all the side trails and really just everything about it, I read one note that someone said, can't remember where it was, maybe on the website for the Ashbury camp. Someone had said that this is a trail that you would commonly see 5 to 10 people on. So far I would say that that's probably true, because I've seen 6 people so far. Granted, I'm not going back yet, but at least on the out part of the hike, I've seen 6 people. Me being 7. I would say that holds true, at least today anyway. Today's date is, I'm not sure if I stated it earlier or not, but today's date is February the 12th, 2022. We're coming up on the side trail for Moonshine Falls. Signs on the tree right there. Another little rock pile marking the trail. And I can already hear water, which I'm going to assume is probably it. See you at the bottom. There she is. The sign for Confusion Falls is right there. There's one of the barrels here. It turns out all the remnants of the moonshine's still here. You can see some of the piping and a lot of trash down in here too. You can only blame people for that. It must have been some job to get all these barrels in here. If you happen to know any more information on Moonshine Falls, like a backstory, or maybe someone that may have been here when this was up and operating, feel free to leave a comment below and just shed some light on that. I'm going to get down closer to the falls and to the base of it and get a different shot, and then behind it too. We're heading on down to Confusion Falls now. Gonna see what's confusing about it, if anything. And on our way down, we're gonna get a base shot of moonshine right over there. On to Confusion Falls now. Moonshine was very impressive. That one may have to get a revisit sometime in the future. Going up on one little crossing right here we got to do. We'll go across right here. Either across that rock and then onto the big one, or across this log. We may go the path of the rock, maybe easier. I think the waterfall may be right there. We're just at the top of it and we have to work our way to the bottom to see it. So according to my map, Confusion's a little further, but there's a waterfall right here. A little two-tier one. Pretty decent size, at least 20-25 foot tall. It's not marked on my map. We still got a little ways to go according to it. Just thought that was interesting and not marked in any way. Nice addition. Trail continues that way. Found another little waterfall here, unnamed to my knowledge, right up through there. Trail continues on the other side of the creek. Here it is, Confusion Falls. It's actually two waterfalls. The only confusing part to me was coming down which one was going to be it. Without a labeled map, I wouldn't have known. Time to climb back to the main trail. Not confused anymore. Tnt Falls. Wonder what that means. Or does it mean anything? Made it back across the creek. Now it's on to the parking area. All right, so I've got about a mile or so to go back to where I parked. I'm gonna give some final thoughts about the hike and go ahead and end the video here. Overall, I would highly recommend this one. It was a lot of fun. You got to see, I think I've lost count, but I'm thinking 6 waterfalls. 2 of them were not named. And that's not even counting the one at the beginning that was overgrown real bad, and I just didn't go all the way to it. I was able to get a glimpse of that one, but definitely not up close. It just wasn't going to be worth the effort. But overall, it's very enjoyable. If you do come, I would recommend that you come on a day like today with good clear weather with no chance of rain. Mainly because the length of it, the amount of time it's going to take you to do it. I'm hiking every weekend, and I've been out here probably about 5 hours. That includes exploring probably a few places I didn't have to, but you can't help but be curious. But I think with everything combined, I'm going to be looking right at 8 miles the way it looks. About exactly 8 miles. So don't believe what you see on all trails. If you read some of the comments and reviews, there are several people that say it's a lot more than the 5.5 miles it states. I was thinking it was going to be 7 before I got started, but realistically it's about 8 miles. Start from a strenuous standpoint, I would say that it's pretty fair to say that the hike overall is moderate, but a couple of the parts were difficult, maybe difficult for certain people. Certain people may not want to do the cable bridge. If you get to the cable bridge and you decide you don't want to do it, if you look down to the right of it, if you're standing at the cable bridge, there's a log that stretches all the way across the creek that you can go down and either crawl or walk across. It'd probably be a little bit safer for you if you just feel nervous about the bridge. But really, it wasn't too bad. But I think that's going to do it. If this is your first time here, I would encourage you to give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and please subscribe if you haven't. We'll keep you in the loop of future uploads on this channel, which will be videos similar to this. And as we get back into the spring and summer season, you will see some beach content more frequently. Haven't been to the beach in a few months, so it's been kind of dry as far as coastal footage, as ironic as that sounds, because the name of the channel. But that's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't. As always, thanks for watching.